So, welcome back to LeadFoot TV. So today is the day of truth. We are taking the Subaru Impreza to Grinspeed Motorsport to get the four-wheel alignment set up, ready for us to take to the Nürburgring. So it is currently 5:30 in the morning. I've just finished a 12-hour night shift, so if I look tired, it's because I'm tired. But we're going to head to the garage, pick up the Subaru, retire Sarah's trusty Colt. Sarah's lent me a Colt while my Subaru's been off the road, which has been really helpful, because otherwise I'd have been walking to work, which would have sucked. Me and Dunk finished the Subaru, what day we are? Yeah, yesterday morning, and I slept in the garage that night to get the Subaru finished. Dunk came after he'd done a 12-hour night shift as well, and helped me finish it off yesterday morning. So we did get it finished, but then when we took it for a test drive, I slightly over tightened one of the handbrake adjusters inside the disc. So I'm just going to whip the wheel off and just loosen the adjuster so that the brake stops binding, because it was binding quite bad. It was starting to smoke and get really hot. So yeah, we'll whip the disc back off, just quickly adjust the handbrake shoes, and then yeah, stick the wheel back on and head straight down to Grinspeed via McDonald's and get a coffee to try and keep me awake so I don't fall asleep at the wheel. Could I get a breakfast roll with a toffee latte? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Cheers, thank you. It does look a lot better now. It's a tiny bit lower, but it does, however, look like it's just been recovered from some kind of natural disaster area. There's just like dust everywhere. The inside's just the same, just a massive thick layer of dust over the dashboard. Yesterday we took it for a quick test drive after we got everything back together. The brakes are still really spongy. Obviously, I can't bleed them myself today because I've got nobody with me. They work, but not very well, and the pedal doesn't really do anything until it gets to the bottom. It felt fine while the engine wasn't running, but as soon as you drive it and the engine's running, it's got that servo pressure. The pedal just seems to sink quite a lot more. And this side, you can see the discs got very hot because they run a handbrake shoe on the inside of the disc, and I think I just over tightened it slightly, and it's been rubbing. Oh god, I can't even use words, I'm so tired. The handbrake shoes have been binding. That's the word I was looking for. And yeah, basically it was starting to smoke and it was getting really hot. So I'm going to quickly whip this wheel off, try and wind back the adjuster just to get a bit of a gap between the shoes and the disc, and then we can set off down to Grinspeed. So inside here, there is a little adjuster. You can see these are brand new handbrake shoes, and they're already covered in loads of dust because I have over tightened them slightly, just because I was rushing more than anything else. But yeah, they've gone a bit black everywhere because they've been rubbing. And basically all it is this little adjuster here. So you just move this little cog, and that'll either make the pads move further apart or come further in. So we want them to come further in just to stop them binding too much, and then we can stick it all back together and go take it for a test drive and make sure that it's not rubbing anymore. And basically the problem was
these shoes were just pushed too far out and they were just binding slightly on the inside of the disc. So if we wind it in a few notches, put the disc back on, and hopefully we won't have any issues. So I've adjusted it all. It doesn't seem to be binding now. I've just given the shoes, just a quick rub down with some sandpaper to get all the crap off that's obviously built up with them binding. So they're all nice and clean now. I can chuck it back on. So I've just given it a quick hoover out. It's still very dirty in here. You can probably tell by the hazy dust that you can see in the camera, like when the light hits it. But I've just wiped the initial layer of dust off just to stop it smelling and being so horrible. But when I get the car back, I will give it a proper clean out. I've got a status error air freshener to go on to try and make it smell a little less like burning metal. And then I thought, while I'm here messing around with the mirrors, with the air freshener, I may as well stick my TGR wide angle mirror on. So this is like a convex wide angle mirror, so it gives you more view because obviously it's curved, so you can see like a lot more out your window. So that's basically what I can see now, is like out the back window, and that's about it. So we'll stick this on. It literally just clips on like that. But I just thought it'd be really useful when we're on the Nürburgring, because it'll just give us a much wider field of view and we'll be able to see what's coming up behind us a lot better. Also, it's anti-glare as well, so you don't get blinded by people's headlights, which is nice. So there we go. You can see there, I can see so much more already. You can see out the side windows in the back, which is really useful because obviously you get a bit of a view from the rear corners as well without having to look over your shoulder. And the view this way is just miles better. Yeah, really cool product. They're dead cheap as well. I'll stick a link to them in the description down below if you want to get one, and if you use code LeadFootTV you'll get 10% off. But I just thought throw that on while I'm here. Yeah, nice quick job. It makes me feel like I'm not totally wasting my time. Yeah, let's go take this Impreza out for a test drive. I'm seriously tired now. I can't even talk properly. I've been awake for like 26 hours. It's like I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to feel sick. But I can't even talk. I forgot where I'm even going. Grinspeed. We're going to Grinspeed. So Grinspeed opens in about an hour. I'm going to go quickly test drive the Subaru, and if it's all right, we'll swing back round, come back here. I'm going to take the Skyline gearbox down with me as well. So I've got a manual gearbox to go into the Skyline, but it needs rebuilding and we're not totally sure what it's going to need. So Grinspeed are going to strip down the box for me and let me know everything that I need for it to get it up back to a decent functioning gearbox. And then we can manual swap the Skyline. So I'm going to take that down with me today as well and leave it with them, and then they can just have a look and do whatever they want to do when they've got time to do it. So yeah, let's go test this car first and make sure it's all right. We'll head back here if it is and grab the gearbox. So skip forward day. I tried to film when I got to Grinspeed, but I was just so tired. I just couldn't concentrate. I kept messing up and making loads of mistakes. So I just left it. I left the car at Grinspeed, went and grabbed something to eat while they were doing it. They didn't take very well. They took their time, but they didn't take very long, and they like knew exactly how to set it up. So I got back. He was just finishing off a few final touches, and then I took it out for a test drive, and honestly it is a completely different car. It handles so much better than it did before. Obviously it handled like absolute rubbish while all the suspension was all over the place, but before, when it was on the Pro Drive springs and shocks, it was all right, but it was like quite boaty. It made it feel like a really big numb car. But yeah, now it's on the HSD coilovers and all the arms are set up, and he's like properly done like a track day setup on it, and it's absolutely unbelievable difference. It's so much better. Couldn't recommend Grinspeed highly enough. They did an absolutely fantastic job. Hopefully I'll get a bit of footage down there when I go to pick up the gearbox for my Skyline. I've left it with them. They're going to have a look at it in the next couple of weeks. It's nice to see it back in one piece. I gave it a quick wash on the way home, so it's no longer covered in rust dust, and it's sat a little bit lower, so I got them to level it out, so we brought the front up a little bit to match the rear. It sits really nice. I'm really happy with the height that it's sat at. We got enough ground clearance, but it looks just a little bit lower to sit nice. Obviously these WRX wheels are horrible. They sit way too far into the wheel arches. I have got one of the original Pro Drive wheels, so obviously with this being a GB270, they're meant to have the Pro Drive wheels and stuff on it. I have managed to source one of the original Pro Drive wheels. They're very expensive as a full set, so there's a lot of people selling single ones because like people cracking wheels and damaging sets. There's a lot of people selling single ones, so I've decided to try and pick them up as singles rather than getting a full set, because I think I'll be able to save like 300 or 400 quid at least buying them singly. So I've started collecting the wheels for it. So everything's pretty much complete now. I've just got the seats to clean a bit better. I gave them a quick go over the Hoover, but I just need to give the front a much better clean. And then the interior is out of the back, because obviously we had to take everything out of the back while we were welding, so we didn't burn anything. So I'm just going to quickly start putting the interior back in the rear. And then we've also got a status error sun strip to go on, so I'm going to stick the sun strip on before we go to the Nürburgring. Yeah, thankfully we're not rushing our arse off anymore, because it's actually in a state that we could take it to the Nürburgring if we really had to without any rear seats or whatever. So I'm not rushing my arse off. I slept for 20 hours yesterday. I'm not even joking. I went to bed at like 2 in the afternoon. When I got back from Grinspeed, I slept till 10. We watched like half of film when Sarah got home, and then I fell asleep again and didn't wake up until this morning. So I've had like 20 hours sleep. I feel much better, and just massive relief that this is all in one piece again, because I was starting to think that it was just never going to end. So the interior is all back in. I've given it a good hoover out. It's a lot cleaner than it was. It's not immaculate, but it's definitely better than it was. So yeah, all the interior and all the seats are back in. Big thanks to Ellie for cleaning the back seats while they were out, because otherwise they would have been absolutely shit up. So yeah, everything's back together as it should be. I was going to stick the sun strip on now, but I think it'll be a lot easier if I've got somebody with me. So I'm going to take the sun strip home. We're going to bleed the brakes again, because the brakes are still a little bit spongy. So I'm going to take the brake fluid and all the tools and the sun strip home with me, and then tomorrow me and Duncan will have a go at blasting the sun strip on and bleeding the brakes and try and get a better brake pedal out of it. But yeah, it's nice to see it all back in one piece.